What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Schoolboy Roll Up, the wrestling podcast you didn't know you needed. After you've listened to us, as always, hop on the socials and join the conversation with us there. Schoolboy Roll Up on Instagram, X, TikTok. I don't know if you guys noticed, but I did add us to TikTok. I think we have 3 views total. So
Well,
nobody
they're not from us because I didn't even know you did that.
Nobody knows we're there yet. So, now that people know, I have a feeling that they're just going to flock.
Well, people didn't know that this was the wrestling podcast that they needed.
Right. So until they know, then
yeah, Now they've identified that they need this,
and they will identify. They will. And besides at Schoolboy Roll Up, you could always just email us as well. schoolboyrollup@gmail.com. We love audience questions, and we would love to hear from you.
Like from the meat chip ladies.
Yeah. They were reaching out.
They did.
They did.
In droves.
In droves. They were saying, how could you say that about us?
We had to expand our storage just from the level of emails we've been getting in the past week.
Yeah. We had to go to Google One.
Yeah, we got like 8 terabytes now.
Yeah. It's a lot.
8 terabytes divided by 8.
Oh, wait. Don't you save that math for later, okay? All right?
Okay.
All right.
I don't know why, but I'm curious. Oh,
you'll see.
All right.
Before we get too far into it, Greg, last week you were one of our highest viewed shorts of all time. It might have been surpassed as the highest. It was very close, neck and neck, with I forget the one from last week, but anyway, was the one of you last week with the tissue going off screen to blow your nose. So.
I know what brings it. I know what's going to bring in the views.
Disappears.
Yes, and then he's just boom. He appears again. So, how you feeling?
So got that taken care of.
Okay,
but feel like I ate a piece of turkey that was just a little bit too old right now. So who knows where we're going? Maybe it's food poisoning on the horizon.
Wow.
We don't know. Maybe I'll have to run out of here for other reasons.
Wow.
Or maybe I just stay.
Maybe, just power through it and just do it right there.
Yeah, like just if I vom on screen, that's got to be worth a
I don't know, man. There's a desire for content about your bodily functions.
Yes,
so.
there is, especially Greg's.
Listen, that's
an easy 2K
social media venture, but we're not talking about that right now. That's more for the summertime.
Oh, okay. I can't wait for the summer.
Well, I think we're both wearing it right now. We're wearing some Knicks blue.
Oh, there we go.
I mean, you're wearing a Knicks shirt.
I'm wearing a Knicks shirt.
You're wearing the shirt of a Bulls fan. Nick, what's this?
This is my shirt you're not allowed to wear post-COVID. Nobody knows this reference, but it's seemingly racist if you don't know the reference.
Yeah. Going forward, can you just hold it?
Yeah, just hold it up while you're gyrating.
Yeah, actually, dude, hold on.
Yeah, there we
if I
go.
move a little closer, dude, I look gigantic.
Wow,
your shoulders are popping right now.
Yeah,
I think you gotta stay like this.
Jeez, man,
dude, I've been in the gym.
It looks like he's in that Kanye West video where he's wearing the big garbage thing.
Dude, I look like a Goomba from the Super Mario movie.
You got that Scott Steiner dude, stuff going on.
My head looks so incredibly tiny for this. For these shoulders.
The fat man in a little suit.
Rob, you're not doing it.
Am I supposed to be? Okay.
Yeah.
Dude, Rob, you're doing it wrong, dude. Rob, you went out in like the chest area.
Where am I supposed to be going out?
You gotta go out from the shoulders.
Shoulder head.
Take it from the shoulders.
Your shot's too wide though, Rob. But
you got a different angle. It doesn't work, Rob.
It looks like you're doing T-Rex arm.
Get out of here. Rob, just talk about how happy you are with these Knicks games right now.
I'm so happy with these Knicks games right now. They're going to give me a heart attack, but I'll take it. I will take 1.5 quarters of good play every game if it means a win. So,
what do you think the X factor has been right now, in your opinion?
Who
do you think?
It's been Bridges when he's ready to play.
I was gonna say, dude, Bridges has stepped up in this series.
Yeah, he's been awesome. He's played great defense, and he's He's hit timely shots in the fourth quarter. So,
He reminds me of young Mark Jackson.
he even has the shimmy. He's totally similar. Michael Bridges, and Mark Jackson are very similar. So,
Markel Jackson,
Markel, just like the toilet paper company.
good brand right there.
Yeah, great band. So yeah, I'm into the Knicks. Let's go. Let's keep it up. Let's beat the Celtics and move on to the Eastern Conference Finals.
Let's do it.
You guys been watching? I bet Nick. I know Nick hasn't, but
Yeah, maybe.
Nick's definitely
no
watching.
access to sports whatsoever. In my
and
house.
you're fine with that, so that's good.
Yeah,
Dude, it has been a case of Greg catching the earlier parts of the game, putting kids to bed.
Mm-hmm.
Now at this point, cannot make this mistake for the third game.
I know, right?
So
back at Madison Square Garden, it's gonna be.
But then I feel like if they lose, then the reasoning is that's my fault because I've switched what I'm doing, so I can't do that.
I'm gonna come find you if that's what happens.
I ain't too hard to find.
All right, Jason.
I ain't too hard. Pull up on me, dude. Yeah, we should do one of our talking pieces just like this, so people are like, this guy is jacked.
Yeah. They'll be like, look at this podcast with this guy that's just jacked.
Yeah, like I'm just talking about. I'll be like, oh, so WWE cuts Braun Strowman. I am so upset, and that'll be like our short right there.
It's perfect.
But it is true. I am so upset about Braun.
Well, let's hit on that in a little bit, because I did want to ask you guys about the cuts. But before we get to straight up wrestling,
Okay.
the big news of today, and in this day and age, it's kind of quite, who knows? People could have a lot of different opinions on it, but what do you guys think about the new Pope Robert Prevost, an American?
I saw an Onion headline that was like, Pope happy to be out of America permanently.
I'd go live in Italy. I mean, I'd be fine with that.
Well, it's not Italy, Rob.
It's the Vatican, I
City.
understand, but
It's its own country, Rob.
okay, yeah,
It's not.
you're right.
I'm sorry that I'm a little bit more cultured than you on this.
I mean, I did go there, so I guess
You're in Vatican City?
Yeah,
Did you enjoy the Vatican City?
I enjoyed the Vatican City. It did. I felt very holy. I felt a connection. No, not really, but
Yeah.
no.
You did, and then you started hitting the black mass on everybody.
Yeah. I just started RKOing all 9,000 foreigners, including myself, that were in that area at the same time.
I've started GoFundMe for us, so we could do a schoolboy roll-up in Vatican City and just do Aleister Black entrances the whole time. Just getting pulled up.
Oh.
Just getting pulled up.
I have laughed at the stuff from last week multiple times throughout this week, but most notably about the freaking gorilla just coming up on Aleister Black thing and be like, it's the funniest image in my head. So it's good.
I want to revisit this for a second, I guess. We could talk about the Pope, but I mean, we are somewhat of a wrestling podcast. We're talking about the gorilla. If you had to pick, let's say, 3 wrestlers to be part of your 100, which wrestlers are you taking to fight this gorilla?
Mark Henry.
It's a good one.
Rikishi.
I feel like you got to take Mick Foley because he's never gonna go down.
I feel like Greg has his answer.
Yeah, he does. He's waiting for us to say stupid
and then
shit,
I started going,
so he can just start. Go, please, please save us.
I gave you guys the question just so I could answer my own question.
Yeah.
No, I want you guys. Got to finish it. You guys got to work this down.
Well, we said Goldberg would do pretty well. I don't know.
Would Braun Breaker do well? What do we?
Just as well as Goldberg.
Yeah. But can he jackhammer them?
I mean, R.I.P. Braun Strowman. Not really, but you know.
Yeah.
He would have been good.
Really.
I would have picked him.
Not really. Yeah, he would have been a good one. Greg, just come on. You're making us silly here.
All right. I think I'm going to take. All right. I'm going Brock Lesnar. Because he's Brock Lesnar. Lesnar.
He drives a Subaru.
All right. Give me Brock Lesnar. I like the Mark Henry pick.
That's a great pick. It's a great pick.
But if I'm going with 3, fine. Brock Lesnar. I'll take Mark Henry. And just for entrance purposes alone, give me Sting.
All the gorillas are so confused when he comes out because all the lights are off. It's like snowing on the screen.
And he gets a weapon. He gets a bat.
It's very much like present day Sting.
Yeah. In makeup
He's
or no
wearing
makeup?
The Sting mask removes it to just show the same exact face to the gorilla.
Can we put somebody in there just to feed him to the gorillas? Like, I want a squash match. Damian Priest just getting squashed by a gorilla.
Give me Dominic Mysterio. Give me JD McDonough. Just give me the Judgment Day.
All right. I feel like that's a solid group.
Do you think the Pope has an answer on the gorilla versus meth?
It should be his first thing that he addresses as Pope.
Wouldn't that be amazing? He's like, I just want to address all the questions lately, and I would take the 100 men.
Now, going forward, Rob.
Yes.
Do we continue to call you Rob, or are you now Leo the 14th?
Oh, that's a good question. Imagine
everyone,
named Rob had to become Leo the 14th.
Or let's just go Leo. It's got a nice
Leo.
ring for you.
Pope Leo. Wouldn't that be weird though? Like you become the Pope and then you can't even use your own name. Like nobody knows him as Pope Robert.
Well, you've ascended. You are now a holy being.
Yeah.
So you
It
no
would be
longer
a little bit weird if you were the Pope.
have your other name anymore.
Right.
But it's like we'd be like, oh, hold on, I gotta run out of here. I gotta go record a podcast with the new Pope.
The new Pope.
And it's just you.
But
with the hat. With the Knicks shirt and the hat.
But this Pope's hysterical.
You get to change your name as the Pope, and you go from Pope Robert or just Robert to Pope Leo. Like you need some
but dude, Leonardo, Ninja Turtle.
Like,
come on, this guy's killing.
Painter. I feel like you need some transcendent name. Like,
do you have to be named after a saint? Is that how this works?
It's a good question. Do
you think? Do you just felt that they thought he was a little bit bland and they wanted to repackage him?
Yeah. The next thing is future endeavors. So I hope for his sake it goes well.
They sent him away for like 6 months to repackage him for this moment.
That's why
sent to NXT.
Yeah, that's why he was in that building and they were just shooting the black smoke out because they were repackaging him.
Exactly, and white smoke, new character.
Things are good. We'll see. We'll see what the guy says. He went to Villanova, so he's somewhat of a local guy. I don't want to call him too local, but right around.
I mean, if nothing else, that means the Knicks should realistically win the playoffs.
Even better now. The Villanova Pope Knicks are just taking it.
Do you think with him being from Chicago, at any point he would have crossed paths with CM Punk?
I'm absolutely positive. When you see him make his appearance, he's got the X's on his head. but he twists them this way so they're crosses.
You know what? Little does anybody know that when CM Punk came back and he was in the crowd, like when he first walked out and he stood in the crowd and that guy was holding him from behind, and he was going Chicago, Chicago. That was actually Pope Robert.
That was Pope Robert.
That was Pope Robert. So
Okay.
He was there in that moment.
yeah, they have crossed paths
He was definitely at Money in the Bank 2011.
for sure. And when he first comes out, he's not going to come out to like Ave Maria or something. He's going to come out to Cult of Personality. With his pyro. He's already got pyro. He's got the smoke.
He needs to up his pyro game.
He needs a
He's
little.
at Cody Rhodes level pyro.
Yeah, that's hard to attain. But anyway, that's
If
that.
you're gonna have pyro, when would you want to use pyro in your life? Like for what kind of situation?
So many good choices.
Yeah.
I'm going. I mean, look, the closest thing you have in your life is to a wrestling entrance is your wedding reception entrance.
Yes.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's obviously a good choice. And then like the other option would be something extremely mundane.
Yeah, just like
No way
like
this-
you
like,
just
you're
coming out of the
you're just about to
bathroom
take
Yeah.
the
and hits.
work.
Just walking down the hallway. Do, 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 do.
Coming out of the bathroom in the middle of the night.
Yeah, kids are woken up. What happened? Daddy went to the
And-
bathroom.
And it's like that old school WCW with the Michael Buffer
Yeah.
entrance.
Brett the Hitman Clark.
Dude, he destroyed Bret Hart
He
on
did.
multiple occasions.
Yes.
Have you? I know you just referenced
Yeah.
it, dude. He one time said, I think it was like, he's the man in black and purple.
Not purple at all. Oh my god.
Yeah, like I think he just had something against Bret Hart.
Yeah. Well, he probably said something somewhat like nice to Bret Hart, and Bret Hart took it completely the wrong way. And then he held a grudge against him, so Michael Buffer was just going to mess up his name from now on. Because Bret's got a grudge against everybody.
Has Bret? We need Bret to discover us, so he can quickly
He
form an
could-
opinion.
Yeah.
If he did, he would see what I just said, and then he would instantly hold a grudge against us. But I love Bret Hart.
I think realistically, if he looks at the three of us, he's gonna dislike Nick the most.
Why?
Because we're at least recording in basement settings. You know,
Oh,
Bret Hart
right.
likes a nice
In the
dungeon environment.
Oh, Greg.
Nick's just in a side room. It's not working.
Well, what do you want from my office, Scott?
Brett wants to get it done in the dungeon.
Yeah.
Door.
You gotta be in the dungeon like Rob and I.
What am I supposed to have a single door in my office?
Yeah. You need a single door in your office.
I'm not a man of the people.
You're a man of China. Anyway, I say we get into some wrestling. What do you guys think?
I feel like we've been in wrestling.
We have.
never stopped
We-
wrestling.
Well,
Everything is wrestling.
but everything has been wrestling. You're right, but
Yeah.
I'm talking about
The
like-
actual
like
product.
not talking about how shitty SmackDown was this Friday. Like we can just erase that. Just pretend you didn't even see it because
Well, when we first put the show together, we already erased it from our brain.
Yeah.
Everything we had to talk about was from the Raw.
it was
Because honestly, the SmackDown might not as well have even happened. I mean,
Listen,
the thing
that
with Jacob Fatu,
SmackDown
Bill,
had a tag
Sully,
match,
and-
guys.
mm,
That had a tag match between hostile partners.
hostile.
with the mask on, diving through the ropes. Did that even happen this week, or was that last week?
I think I dreamt it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Honestly, it was so bad. So I don't know why. I feel like we had such a lull to get to Mania, and then Mania didn't hit, and now we still are in a lull. And
Raw's recovering and holding all the weight.
Stop this. Mania hit, but not the main event. The main event didn't
Yeah.
hit. The rest of Mania, I think, was solid.
it was.
I think
You think it was solid though? I think it was subpar in terms of Mania. I really do.
No, I think it held up. I think everyone was just left with a sour taste in their mouth.
Yeah,
by the
that's the
event.
thing. You remember what happened last, and what happened last was disappointing. So now everybody's like, that was bad. The whole thing was bad.
Mm.
No, and I'm not doing that. I think we saw a lot of great things. Dom Mysterio, that women's triple threat.
I had
This
a
Mania
mo-
was good.
I'm watching Jey Uso on Raw do the entrance. He's got the belt, and I'm like enjoying myself immensely just watching him do the entrance. I'm like, how could this guy not be the champ? And then he wrestles, you know, and it kind of changes your.
But actually, I will say though, I thought him and Seth had actually a really good
Yes.
match.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah,
I would agree.
yeah.
I think the only issue you're running into with that match, and it's fine, it's wrestling, this is going to happen. You're waiting that whole match while it's happening, and it's great wrestling. You're like, where's the interference? Who's returning?
Mm-hmm.
Is it Punk? Is it Reigns? Who's coming in? Is it just going to be Zayn?
But no, we got almost a whole thing. You got Sammy, you got Braun, you got Punk. It was awesome. It was actually really good. Better than the main event of Mania.
Oh,
But that's what I'm saying.
And,
I don't know.
and better than Jay's match with Gunther.
Ugh, that was still so terrible.
Gunther.
Well, I guess we could go so many different ways from the things you guys were just saying, but I want to say, I feel like we're still waiting for a third man to be involved into this group, right? Obviously, we're not counting Heyman as the third guy.
Yeah.
Do you guys have any inklings on who that may be, or no? It's okay if we don't. I'm just curious.
I like Paul. I don't know. I feel like Logan Paul still fits in that group. He did show up shortly after the show ended because for whatever reason they couldn't book that match for this upcoming PLE. So they decided to do a social media thing, and he attacked him after the show was over. I don't know. The proximity to the group gives me the clue, I guess, to when he showed up.
I think it could be.
It's a good point.
I think you might be looking at Jeff Cobb, our boy. I'm not.
We've been on a Cobb roller coaster here.
Listen,
We
I'm
went
not
all
going to
in
stop
and
talking about Cobb. If there was going to be a third guy, I think bring in someone who's debuting. Don't take someone already on the roster. We need a third guy. We got to make a name for him. There you go.
So,
but it doesn't look like it will be Cobb. I don't really know if there's the need for a third man. Why is there such a push for this third gentleman? We've got Seth and Braun. I don't see how much. Whoever's third at this point, I think, plays the role of like a 100% lackey there to get beat up and get pinned.
And already Braun isn't really talking a lot, so we're going to have two muscles.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like, assuming Triple H, I'm assuming he's going to go the route that he's always went in his past, and Evolution had 3 guys and a manager, right? So I don't know. I just feel like he's definitely going to add a third guy to this group. I just don't see the.
It doesn't definitely have to happen.
Nothing definitely has to happen, but I don't see any way that
the whole show could just be everyone getting along.
Yes, it could be.
It would be unique to keep them at just 2.
It would be. You're right.
Right? Factions are very rarely just the way
they did it. They had it with Austin and Triple H till that went belly up, but that was I thought that was interesting. When you have just 2 dominant guys who are close to the same playing field, I think that makes for a very interesting dynamic.
I see the third guy being there to eat pins because you can't have either Braun or Seth get pinned right now, I feel. And maybe that does make sense that you get Jeff Cobb in there to just be some muscle, additional muscle to eat pins.
Didn't you text me that he was retiring last week?
Yes, Greg did say that.
If he's available, I'm saying, because I feel like he's been making the rounds a little bit. I've been seeing some shorts of him lately. Rhea Ripley's fiance,
buddy
Murphy, over in AEW. Guy was paired with Seth Rollins before. back in, I want to say around 2020 when Seth Rollins was doing the Messiah
Oh,
gimmick.
that's right. Yes.
The dude's a great wrestler. He's pretty jacked, and he would be the perfect guy, I think, to eat those pins. So, not sure if he is available. My guess is that he's not right now, but I think that could be a good third person if his contract's expiring. As far as people who are there right now,
What about
no one's
Rusev?
really.
We see Rusev as just a singles guy right now. I mean,
Yeah. No, Rusev, I don't see fitting into the group because
the way that they debuted him is such that he's going to be over there.
He's just too close to Braun Breaker too.
Yeah, you're right.
We've got two indestructible guys.
Mm-hmm.
One with an indestructible tan.
Paul Heyman's joined that indestructible tan too.
Right.
Oh my God!
He's just putting his face in Braun's chest.
He was. What was that? The comments on social media were
Paul
hilarious.
Heyman being the ultimate storyteller
Yes.
is what it is. Braun's getting tanner. Heyman's getting tanner.
Yeah,
because that's just what he does, dude.
I love that you're seeing just these small. I shouldn't even say small. You are seeing changes to the character in general. He's not operating the same way as he did when he was with Roman Reigns. He seems a little bit more outspoken, obviously much tanner, but it does seem like he's a little bit looser with what he's saying right now. Whereas I think when he was playing the role of the wise man, he was like very buttoned up, acting kind of in that counsel role. Now it just seems like he's freely saying things and, just crushing it on the mic.
Dude,
that promo, right?
Everyone wishes they could cut a promo the way he does.
Yeah.
With the way he just was going up and up and up and up and somehow not running out of breath.
I don't know.
Awesome.
And his mastery of the English language as well. Like he constantly is saying, I'm not saying big words, but verbose words that when you're doing a promo like that, I would imagine I would have trouble saying them, even though I know I can say them all at all times. But the way that he is yelling, and it's incredible. I don't know how he does it. I really don't. But that was an awesome promo. Jay Uso's just standing there like, why are you saying this to me?
Yeah.
So,
well, I think you are seeing a little bit of a change with him because he's also just gone, I think, from being so refined as the wise man to a little bit more uncouth now. He just kind of speaks freely and he's just going to blast you without hesitation. Like he's just crushing. Like his rant on Jey Uso.
Amazing.
Beautiful.
Yeah. It felt somewhat misplaced because I didn't know where it came from. And I guess that's more of along the lines of what you guys are saying, where he's a little more unhinged. And it definitely came out of nowhere.
They always talk about that a good heel is rooted in truth. And I think what you're seeing, or what Heyman's trying to portray right now, is while he's obviously the bad guy, he's a guy who feels hurt by CM Punk and Roman Reigns. So seems a little bit more like broken and on edge, which is why he has these now, sudden bursts where he just kind of comes out with it.
Yeah, it definitely seems that way. I do want to call back to Jeff Cobb for just 1 second.
We can't get enough of Cobb.
Because I want to mention that the best comment on our social media this week was from, we'll just call him Kyle. And he said that Goldberg eats Cobb the long way. Corn on the cob the long way. So Goldberg eats corn on the cob the long way. So great comment.
We'll get some good Cobb signs for sure if he shows up.
Yes. Yeah, for that sign will definitely be there. Yeah.
What? I'm thinking for the tailgate, what if we only put out
corn on the cob?
Wow. Yeah. That's only food we have.
He has to show up then.
Oh, he's the Cobb party.
The Cobb party. Ain't nothing but a Cobb party.
It's pretty forced.
Oh man.
And then his pyro goes off.
It's just a sparkler.
Yeah.
Oh,
that
man.
he's holding.
Oh, man. That would be amazing. But yeah, I like this. I think we need to be his first interview for when he does show. Because nobody's
I
talking
mean,
about him as much as we are. I guarantee it.
now that we got this TikTok,
You got to check out the TikTok,
we
man.
got the TikTok.
You get the tic tac, tuck
Yeah.
tick.
He's coming.
He's coming. He's definitely coming.
No spoilers, but you can expect it.
No spoils, boys.
So he unretired, I guess.
He.
I don't know where you saw that.
Don't worry about this.
This
Nick.
was the
Let's
breaking
move
news,
forward.
Nick.
You're spreading fake news even just in our group chat. Okay,
Yeah.
got it.
Dude, the level of misinformation needs to just be run so far. Needs to run so deep.
You need to not know what's real to enjoy the podcast.
My name is not even Greg. I've been lying to you for 3
It's
years.
Leo.
It's
It's Leo.
Leo.
It's your boy
Leo. Maybe Jeff Cobb was signed and then cut immediately, along with the other cuts.
Possibly.
Which
His salary was too high.
It was too high. They're like, actually, we know you just signed the contract a couple minutes ago, but we think you're coming in a little too high, so we're gonna have to future endeavor you. What do you? I know, Greg, you had a strong opinion about one of these people. What did you guys think about some of the cuts?
I mean, they always do them, so it's not like it's a huge deal, but I feel Braun just, he put over 2 other big guys, got the absolute crap kicked out of him the past 6 months, and now he's gone. It's just a bad way to go out.
Mm-hmm.
I don't get why. I keep coming back to it. I don't get why Braun Strowman needed to be putting over just other big guys at this point. The guy looked in better shape this past year and last year than he did 10 years ago when he first got there. The guy, I think, had such a great rise in the early portion. And then as soon as he won the Money in the Bank in around 2018, it's like they just were like, we're done with the push. The guy was so over. He won the tag team championships with a child. With a child.
That's right.
Okay. So you release him in 2021 after he held the Universal Championship, beat Goldberg for it. But he comes back, I'm assuming at a cheaper rate, and I thought he did great work. Yeah, he lost those feuds, but his matches were entertaining. And it's a good way of putting over some of these bigs. I mean, when he beat Gunther, or I should say when Gunther beat him early on in Gunther's IC reign, that levels him up. I just don't think the guy needed to be a jobber to big men at this point. I think there was still value in pushing him, and I don't see any reason why you couldn't have, especially if you turned him heel. He could have been an excellent world champion. I don't see why they don't see more value in him.
Can I add something to both of it for both you guys? I will give you the Dave Meltzer saucy nugget of the week. We didn't think we had one, but we do.
I didn't think we had one.
Now this one's not out there. It's just
call this ghost pepper sauce.
It's just
came out of nowhere.
stupid. It's a stupid tweet.
Oh, you built it up with the horns.
Well, just listen to this. Dave Meltzer had the following to say about Braun Strowman and his release. One person told me they felt he was paid more than how they were using him.
The guy was on TV all the time. I think that's one of the reasons people are care more. Obviously, he had the Universal Championship, whatever. He was a top guy at one point. But it's more so like he was on TV all the time. They were using him. And then he was just gone. So I think that's part of why people care so much about it. It's just weird. Usually people are kind of floundering and then they're gone. And that just wasn't really the case with them.
I'm assuming he ends up in AEW, right?
I would be a huge fan if he didn't wind up in AEW, just because AEW, as we've been saying, I think we're at this point, we're just going to label ourselves as AEW haters for right now. He's going to go there, and they're not going to have much to do with him. they're just like, he exists. Here's Adam.
Adam Scher.
Comes out for his debut, and then what are they doing with him? I mean, at this point, what are they even doing with the Hurt Syndicate? They just have this never-ending storyline with him and them and MJF.
Yeah.
And at this point, they're only tag champs. Like, the Hurt Syndicate is wonderful. So it just seems like there's not enough room in AEW. I would love if he just switched over to TNA. I would be good if he wound up with New Japan, because then they could present him, I think, like the monster he is.
I would love to see him in AAA.
What do they call him?
El Monster.
El Monster. I like it.
He could just it could be him versus 100 cruiserweights. There we go.
Oh man, I would consider taking Braun Strowman in the gorilla fight.
That you have to.
I would draft El Monster.
But when he's running around, they're actually doing that train sound and everything.
Oh man, that train sound was the end of him.
What a detriment! What a detriment that was.
Rough times.
That was rough times. Okay, so is that it? I know a lot of people were upset about Dakota Kai. Maybe
This is somebody who I think was well liked.
Yeah.
And people thought that she was going to win the IC tournament, but she went from not winning that to not being in the company. So it's crazy.
That is crazy.
I think Kai could be. I think that could be a great addition for AEW, whereas their women's division, I think, is lacking still. I think that would be a great pickup for the women's division, and I think that would be a great way for her to get a belt on herself.
Yeah,
and have some excellent matches.
Mm.
And then I feel like the one other name I kept hearing, even though I wasn't as familiar with her, because truth be told, I just don't watch a ton of NXT. I mean, I know Gigi Dolan's name came up, but Cora Jade's name kept coming up a bunch. And it really seemed to me, from what I had known about her, it seemed like she was getting significant time on NXT, but she just became, I guess, somewhat replaceable with some other pickups in the past 6 months.
Right. They've picked up a lot of crazy good wrestlers, so just being super hot doesn't matter, I guess. She's going to make a lot of money on OnlyFans, I think.
That's Nick's breaking news.
Yep. That's what I heard.
That's what you heard.
That's the Nick saucy nug right there.
I'm actually kind of
Nick's creepy nugget of the
week. Nick's creepy nugget. When you say it, though, you got to be like, "Whoa!"
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
I love nuggets.
I love nuggets. Did you hear this one? I'm actually surprised though that they dropped her, considering Stephanie Vaquer and Julia are both seemingly headed to the main, or they're on the main, and Roxanne Perez. So I feel like
they moved all those people up,
and all three of them have been freaking awesome so far. So
it's all right though, because as reported, it looks like what should be happening is coming out of Backlash. Tiffany Stratton's expected to lose the belt and move back down to NXT.
Oh,
you could take that to the bank. That is confirmed.
You could take that to Money in the Bank?
Yes, that is Greg's fake news of the week.
Okay.
Yep. You go from winning at Mania to being on NXT.
Yep. According to me.
Having your name changed to Leo.
And who are my sources? We repackaged Tiffany Stratton as Leo. Oh man, if the Pope came out today with the Tiff entrance,
oh wow,
it's Leo time.
It's Leo time. That's what happens when you face Charlotte, man. You get sent down. That's the Cena golden shovel. Okay. Nobody else. I honestly don't think there were too many others that were.
No, we hit everything.
Yeah, too shocking.
People talking about
One of our favorites on this podcast is Mr. Killer Cross. As I said, I will never be referring to him as Karrion Kross again.
Well, what are they calling him right now? Is he officially switched over?
No,
Like
I think he's still carrying Cross on TV.
I guess so, but they are heavily hinting
Yes.
and making references to the killer.
Yes, they are. So let's hope. And I would not be upset if he was part of that faction, because he had a lot to say about it in the luxury box interview that WWE seems to love doing nowadays. I don't know where that came from. I guess it's interesting sometimes, but with Kathy Kelly, did you guys see this?
I did.
Yeah. Was this on the show or was it during a commercial?
So I think this has happened twice, where at least it was on mine, and now I don't start Raw on Netflix exactly at 8 o'clock. I usually start it a little bit later, and it seemingly cuts the commercials out completely when I do that. But it also seems like I lose parts of things. So I don't know if that's what happened or not.
I think it was during a commercial, of which, every country except America doesn't get commercials.
Yeah. But yeah, he had the interview with Kathy Kelly, and he on a couple occasions now has mentioned that about people joining that group, and how he was asking Kathy Kelly would she join if he asked her, and he was harping on the fact. I just find it interesting.
That's a little too on the nose. I feel like it would be something his character would do, would be to talk about that and not do it.
Is Kathy Kelly, though, preparing to wrestle at this point?
Yes.
I thought I saw manager
or
or wrestler. I love Kathy.
Yeah.
Kathy's awesome.
Shout out to Kathy.
Shout out to Kathy Kelly. She's great.
Yeah.
But I want to, since Nick has mentioned this the one time, I see it every time now, and I can never unsee it. And Killer Cross had the same exact hair as Kathy Kelly, which is so good. It's just, I love it every time. It's such like a neat little Easter egg every week. But I really hope that they're pushing him.
Yeah, this guy needs to get more matches. I love that we're seeing him on TV every week, but
then he lost. He lost to somebody on whatever show it was. He lost. Did you guys see that? He lost. I don't know how he loses a match after he's getting all these. It seems like he's getting a push. Just stupid. Another person who lost was Otis. He got squashed by Rusev. What do we think about that?
Sad for Otis, right? He's still pretty well liked, but a debuting big guy, what are you going to do? He needs to show up.
Don't let them do this to Otis. We saw how this plays out for Braun.
Yeah.
Don't take this, Otis.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta go into business for yourself.
You got to start doing that worm again.
No, stings for Otis, but is it the right move? Absolutely. You've got Rusev returning. You want to build him up quickly. Best way to do it, get a dominant victory over a character like Otis, who's widely cheered by the fans at this point.
Yeah.
So it's the right move to do. I mean, don't just beat Otis, but beat Otis. You know what I'm saying? Nick gets it.
Bodus.
Bodus, POTUS, Popus. Okay.
Well, yeah. It's what he does. I hope this doesn't stick around and become a feud. Rusev need to use him differently if they're going to make a whole stink about him returning. So we'll see what happens.
Move it on.
What do you guys think about Rusev? Honestly, what are your
love Rusev.
Okay.
Love Rusev. I think it's a great character. Feels every time it felt like Rocky IV when he came out. I actually liked his work in AEW too, when they'd actually feature him. I'm a big fan of him. I like the way he wrestles. I think when they created Rusev Day and he got over as a comedy act, I thought that was wonderful in itself. So no, I'm a fan of Miro, Rusev, whatever we want to call this guy. The Bulgarian Brute is legit.
This is what I love, is that I love that we can disagree. I'm not disagreeing because I dislike Rusev. I do like him.
He's disagreeing. I'm right.
You could be. You very well might be. You usually are. but not always.
But you,
But not
you're
always.
not a, you're not a
Worst
Rusev guy.
debate skills of all time.
Yeah. Well, Nick, I like to give him a little bit because when I do, then he goes off. So
Okay.
I like
There's a whole tactic
there's
here.
a tactic.
Okay.
That's what you got to do. But
I've been lured in.
You've been lured in. There's something missing with Rusev, and I can't figure it out. But at least in my opinion. But I hope he has a great run because he looks the part, he wrestles the part, the whole thing.
You know what though? I think that's a fair. I think while I do like him, he doesn't strike me as world champion material. He strikes me as a solid mid card guy.
Right back to his USA title run.
Yeah, put the US belt on him. Put the IC belt on him. Make him the champ of AAA at Worlds Collide. Get a little crazy.
Make him the women's
Form a
heavyweight
faction
champion.
with El Monster.
El Monster.
El Rusev.
El Rusev versus El Monster.
Versus Alberto Del Rio.
Alberto Del Rio. It's his brother. Okay. Well, anyway. I feel like this is probably a good time to get to our tweet of the week. Now this one's different. And I was telling you, Greg, you were trying to do a little bit math before. But there's only one guy in wrestling that can do math. And that's Big Papa Pump, Scott Steiner. So I bring to you this week the freak tweet of the week.
Whew.
Now, this melds together a lot of topics that we've talked about, which is Scott Steiner and the Gorillas. So I felt obligated to put this in there. All right.
Does he bring up the Pope, or is this strictly gorilla related?
It's just gorilla related right now.
All right.
Maybe
maybe next week we'll have a post we could talk about where he speaks about the Pope.
That would be awesome. He would probably do it very angrily, if I know.
Well,
now, this is somewhat long-winded, so I'm going to read it a little fast, all right? I'm going to try to and not screw it up, because this math...
Are you going to do like a Steiner voice?
No.
It's harder than you think.
Right.
Let's say you got 100 average men, no weapons, no training, just fear in their eyes and dad bods in their way. All right, I can't do it anymore. Then,
I thought that was good. I was liking that.
Then you got one full-grown silverback gorilla, 600 pounds of pure rage, muscle, and tree-ripping power. Now here comes the math. Out of those 100 men, maybe 25% don't even show up once they see the gorilla. That's 25 cowards eliminated immediately. Then you got 33 and a third of them trying to talk it out. They're done. Another 20% just stand there frozen, pissing their pants. Now you're left with about 21 guys, panicked, half committed, and getting launched like lawn darts. But what if Big Papa Pump's in the mix? You just tipped the freaking scale. Now it's not 100 men versus one gorilla. It's one gorilla versus the genetic freak. And that spells disaster for that gorilla.
This man cut a Twitter promo. Yeah. This man cut a Twitter promo against the gorilla.
Against the gorilla.
And it was good.
I love it. I love it. It's such a callback from the good old days.
I mean, how incredible is it that he cut that promo in TNA, which was never truly while it became popular, it was nowhere near as popular as even AEW. Maybe I'm wrong on that.
No, I think you're right.
But I don't really think it was doing the numbers that AEW did. And the fact that so many wrestling fans love the Steiner Math promo, me included, even more than Rusev.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's
so
Rusev.
good. It is so good. It's, what is it, 141 and 2/3% chance?
Yeah.
I think that's the final number. It's incredible.
It's a great point that you made. That moment has to be the biggest moment in TNA history based on the way it's talked about, spoken about. Right?
Yeah, because even though they did great things in the ring, you don't come back to it. Whereas the Steiner Math is timeless.
It's still talked about. So.
Oh yeah, I've got so many friends who will still reference that.
Yeah, it's good stuff. So I thought that was it. Everybody got into the gorilla talk. It wasn't just us.
Speaking about the gorilla talk and Steiner Math and 141 and 2/3% chance of winning. I feel like I've got 141 and 2/3 chance of winning the predictions.
Oh,
Look
wow.
Look at that transition, boy.
That's a
Look at
hell of a transition. But
Thank you.
That shoulder segue, Greg.
you and I have a long way to go, Greg.
Don't worry.
If we're gonna catch up to the stat man.
I got to go first.
I'm just
You get every
chipping
one of
away.
these.
That's right. That's right, Nick. That's what we said. Is you haven't went first yet. So, all right. Let's get to these picks then.
Backlash.
I don't know I don't think the order of the card has been released yet. So I'm just gonna go from least interested for me into most interested. Lyra versus Becky Lynch for the Women's Intercontinental Championship. Nicholas, who you got?
There's two things here, right? And it's funny. There's 3 matches on this where you're like, well, I think this is the answer, but XYZ might come along. To get the Becky Bayley, how important, how soon we need to get Becky Bayley determines the winner here. I'd say they just go Becky. I feel like Lyra's had this Intercontinental belt long enough. Let's move it along. Let's get it on Becky, get the rivalry going with Bayley, and see what they can do with that.
Okay.
Listen, Becky didn't just come back just to win the belts on Mania Night 2, which was a great Mania, by the way. One of the best Manias of all time.
We tore apart night 1, by the way.
No.
I don't know if you guys remember that, but we did. So, anyway.
Becky, the storyline warrants Becky winning, and Becky's return warrants Becky winning. Therefore, Lyra. No, Becky.
Okay. Wow, I actually thought you were going to do it.
Give me Becky.
I think I'm going to go along with the same logic you guys had, except Bayley is going to come back to cause Becky to lose, and Lyra retains.
All right.
Because they're 2 big names that don't need this mid-card belt that they just invented.
Unless they want to make either one of them the Grand Slam champion or whatever,
Like, even though they've both already been that, but now they're kind of not because
there's a new belt. Yeah.
Now there could be a new Grand Slam.
Denny's Grand Slam. Next match.
I'm more of an IHOP guy.
Denny's is
IHOP, sponsor us.
Chocolate chip pancakes. Next match for the United States Championship. You have our guy, the Samoan Wolverine.
Samoan what?
What's that his name?
The Samoan Werewolf. What are you doing?
What am I doing? The Samoan Wolverine. The Samoan Werewolf. Sorry, I had my W's mixed up there for a sec. I also realized that in the beginning of this episode, I was talking about Michael Bridges, and I called him Miles Bridges, which bothered me from the second I said it. So,
wow, cool.
Anyway,
so glad you corrected it. 50
wow,
minutes later.
You only waited 50 minutes to correct yourself.
Well, I had to screw something else up in order to do it. So,
all right,
those are the rules.
Did you intentionally screw up so that you could fix that?
Yes. No. I wish I was that smart. All right, so you got Jacob Fatu versus LA Knight versus Damian Priest versus Drew McIntyre. Nick.
It's the same thing. Is it will Solo interfere? Who is pinning Damian Priest is really the name of this match. Do you elevate the belt by putting it on Drew? Nah, you just let Jacob do his thing, man. He just got the title. He could demolish all 3 of them with how much they're putting him over lately. So I'm going with Fatu retaining. Although him solo interfering is just as likely. That's had a lot of long legs. I just hope that LA Knight doesn't eat the pin. That would sadden me.
That would sadden me as well. I'm gonna go Jacob as well. I think you covered it. I don't think anything else needs to be said. Gregory.
Cat food, jacked moves, baboons, Fatus in 5.
Wow.
There you go.
That was impressive. Can you do that again?
Same exact one, or you want me to switch it up?
No, I want you to do the same exact one.
All right, let's see if I can do cat food, jacked moved, baboons,
Nice.
fat 2s and 5.
Wow. Yes. A gyration.
Yeah.
Yeah. I hate to see my guy LA Knight losing, but I'm happy.
He's already had it twice, man. Does he need three
No,
US
he doesn't.
titles?
But I just, I'm so afraid. I'm just so afraid that he's going to cool off.
He's moving on to bigger and better. It's time for LA Knight to win the Speed Championship. Let's
That's what
go.
I'm afraid of, man. I'm so afraid that he's just going to get lost in the shuffle.
Dude, I'm concerned too about how afraid you are.
Yeah?
And what that does to you.
Like,
So, like,
your
as just a
concern
friend,
concerns
I'm
me.
concerned. Do you go full Leo if LA doesn't win?
Yeah, I would have to. I would go full Leo.
Did you even do that?
Oh, yeah.
On purpose?
Yeah.
What are you, like Wisconsin right there? Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You want some cheese? Yeah. I don't know.
Right. Listen, I'm not making up any grounds because Nick and I are just going to keep obviously agreeing on picks.
He's picking first. Why don't you choose something different?
I don't want to choose something different because the picks are right.
Well, if you guys are agreeing, then
Here's the thing. This is not
Not
a
trying
main
to-
pay-per-view. That's gonna be predictable. I feel like so.
well, let's see where we go from here.
All right.
How about Dom versus Penta, IC champ?
This is weird because I feel like they've fought already, and it's the same thing as Fatu. The guy just got the belt.
Yeah.
But Penta's like feuding with all of Judgment Day basically. And it's will Finn cost him the belt? You know, more so than is Penta gonna win clean.
Mm.
Is there gonna be a gaggle of interference, and is the interference gonna get messed up? Or
See, I see this match ending in a way to expand another feud, which would be Finn Balor versus AJ Styles. So I see Finn interfering and then AJ interfering to help Penta.
Finn Balor.
Finn Balor.
so you think okay? All right, I'm going with Dom,
Okay.
and that's just what I'm gonna do.
Okay.
I'm riding the wave.
Ride the wave.
This is my least confident pick so far
Really?
because I think the interference is most likely there's gonna be interference in this
For
match,
sure.
So.
For
Yeah.
sure.
I mean, I'm pretty sure this time around I'm getting 0 wrong. Give me
Wow.
Penta.
That was actually an M.
No, that was a W.
Okay.
Turned upside down.
Okay.
For wrong.
0 wrong. Okay.
Okay. You're going Penta. Wow. All right. I'm going Dom because I just don't see him losing 2 weeks after he won it. Pat McAfee versus Gunther.
Got there.
Gunther.
Squash. Like,
No, there's going to be interference in this one from Michael Cole causing a DQ.
You have to let us say what we want to say.
You're just
we're
about.
getting the debut of Cobb.
Oh boy.
No.
There's going to be interference in this one from Goldberg.
Yeah.
There is no chance that Gunther is not winning this. It should be an amazing car crash of a match, and I look forward to it. But Gunther gets going again in the best way. Dominant victory.
Agreed. Gunther wins. Gun to your head. Yes or no? Real quick. Does gun to your head was an old Mike and the Mad Dog thing. Does Bill Goldberg interfere in this match? Yes or no?
No. His thing is SummerSlam. It'll be close to SummerSlam.
No one needs to see Goldberg just yelling "You're next" 2 months out. Like save that for around 4th of July.
I'm gonna say he does show up, so that
Right.
we can yell who's next and see Goldberg multiple times on the road to SummerSlam. The actual that was the road to Survivor Series, but the road to SummerSlam now.
I mean, the roads go
already
everywhere.
70% of the way down the road to SummerSlam.
It's like
You're right.
a highway. There's many exits, but you're still on the road.
Yes.
It's an interstate.
He's coming back so that when we're tailgating, he can come interview with us.
Goldberg?
Yeah.
so he could eat corn and cob.
Yeah, but
The
I could
long
blow
way.
smoke out of my nose.
And hit
For Leo.
his head on
Do
the
you-
wall.
Do you think there's a high chance that when he does come back, he's sporting a haircut? Like he's got long, bushy hair?
He would immediately look not so tough. Right?
He's got like
He
the
would
Jesse
still destroy
Ventura,
me and
like
kick
just
my ass,
scraggly
but still.
hair in the back.
He's got the Chris Sabin haircut.
Oh, back to the Chris David haircut. I love it. A good
On
callback.
Goldberg. So
A
good.
good
He's
call.
part of the Motor City Machine Guns. Gun to the head. Is Goldberg showing up with the hair?
Is Goldberg showing up?
You know, it's weird to me that, speaking of pyros and everything, Goldberg is the only wrestler ever to utilize that like crazy pyro, right? Is anybody else?
Which one?
You know, where he stands in the thing and breathes in all the smoke with all the things going up. How come no one else has done that?
Because it's his.
Yeah, but people copy things all the time.
They're saving it for Jeff Cobb.
It's a smart idea. And then they're going to feud
over who gets to keep the pyro.
over whether or not he uses those
Or who gets
little
to eat Cobb the long way.
or if he uses those little corn on the cob holders that
You ever use the corn on the cob holders on baby corn?
No.
What do you think would happen if we gave that baby corn with corn on the cob holders to a gorilla? What's going on then?
Might hurt its mouth.
They're
with a
gonna
little
choke.
sharp piece.
They're going to just eat that thing.
That's how you beat the gorilla.
Ah!
You put little corn on the cob holders on baby corn. This is why the 100 men would win.
Greg's already outsmarting him. Oh, you want some corn? You want some corn? Oh, you're eating metal.
And then I put it into figure 8.
Oh God.
Is the figure 8 a terrible finisher?
Yes.
Yes or no?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
It's just stretching.
Like almost every submission is, but you said that really well.
It feels like the most little kid move ever. Like it's like a look what I can do,
Yeah.
and then like you just go into a back.
And then you get up like this.
Look what I can do.
Yeah, it's definitely not the greatest. But anyway, that only leaves one match left, which would be John Cena versus Randy Orton for the Undisputed Championship.
Intrigue, drama, Cena.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Greg?
Cena. Does Cody interfere though to cost Orton? Like,
I
is
mean,
Cody? I would not bring Cody back so soon, but I'm wondering, like, how is Cena winning this? Is he just winning clean? Is he winning with our boy Travis?
Maybe The Rock is showing up.
We get the Mania finish at a crappy Backlash
Yeah.
card. That would be.
I mean, they need something to save this card. This is literally like a Saturday night main event.
Or do they kind of ignore everything else that happens before, and now Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker, their third man is Cena?
Oh, imagine that'd be pretty cool. I don't think it would ever happen, but it would be cool.
I feel like it would be a little too convoluted.
Yeah, because all Seth has talked about is the future of wrestling, and John Cena has 26 dates left or whatever it is now.
I mean, I feel like Randy's white hot right now, and the match is in St. Louis. Our fans going home happy. Like, Orton's not winning. Is he doing something cool, or is the feud just ending? Was this just a 3-week feud?
Well, the headline of the thing is one more time. So, or one last time. So I feel like they're already telling us that this is just it.
I mean, wasn't WrestleMania 28 once in a lifetime?
Yeah.
So, I mean,
I don't know. It's not like Pope
But I
Leo
feel
was
like
there.
I just don't see any possible way of Cena losing this early.
No.
If Cena loses the belt, heel Cena being unhinged about losing the belt would be pretty entertaining. But I don't know if there's enough time to do all that, or if it's even worth
I'm
it.
keeping him with Cena.
Do we have any idea as to what the Money in the Bank championship match would be if Cena is still retaining? Do we have any idea where they're going?
Has Cena ever won Money in the Bank?
Yes.
Okay.
Are you sure?
Yes, he has.
Okay.
In
I'm pretty
2012,
sure he has too.
which he cashed in to lose at Raw 1000. CM Punk heel turn.
Wow, that
What a
does
pull.
not just roll off the top of my brain for some reason. But that's a good call.
Wow, Greg, you're an encyclopedia of wrestling knowledge. If only you could pick matches.
He overthinks
going.
it, Nick. He overthinks it.
Getting 0
Wrong.
0.
So you're getting 3
Wrong.
wrong.
3 out of whatever. Good on this.
Whatever.
I'm not here to get the picks right. I'm here to show the moneymaker.
The moneymaker. That's what we need.
Which is those broadies.
Yeah,
Broadies.
Is that those
show up these shoulders, head and shoulders, boys. All right, broskies. We got anything else?
No. I think we, besides Nia Jax having her hole hurt, nothing else.
It was new to only you. You were the only person who's not known about this.
And I'm so glad that I do know about it now.
Send it off with that. You
Yes.
kept it.
Yep, that's it. All right.
All right. And Nia, we trust.
And Nia,
Let's
we
get all the picks right.
we trust and run away from. Have a good night, everybody, or a good day, or whatever it is.
Have a boo 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 boo.
Bye.
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 Bye.